you are new here, my name is Jess. I am Her Two Wheels over here on my YouTube channel, and I ride all things two wheels. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my very honest, a little biased, and humble opinion on the brand new 2024 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. I have put a little over 3,000 miles on this motorcycle. That includes a cross-country trip, one iron butt, and a lot of in-town miles. So I feel like I have a pretty solid gauge on my thoughts and opinions on this bike. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you can probably tell based on the condition of the clips I just showed you, yes, this bike has been ridden. As I mentioned, Harley-Davidson flew me out to Las Vegas, Nevada. I picked up this motorcycle that you see back there and turned around and rode it 2,600 plus miles from Nevada back to Orlando, Florida. I do have all of those videos documented and recorded. You can check out the playlist linked in the description, but this video is specifically about the motorcycle. As I mentioned, this is a 2024 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. This is the, I guess, base model, as you would call it. They do have the CVO Road Glide ST and the CVO Road Glide. I'm on the base model, so retail out the door, this bike is $26,000 MSRP. I can tell you that after riding this bike, I can see where they put a lot more effort into the machine and where they kind of took some cutbacks, and I don't hate what they did. Okay, well, I honestly promise that we are going to hop on the bike and take it for a ride in this video, but for now I want to talk about some of the, I guess not superficial, but the physical features of this motorcycle that I can address right here, right now. So the thing that you are going to notice about this motorcycle compared to previous generations is the fully digital dash. They got rid of all of the analog gauges on this motorcycle, which it did take me a few hundred miles to get used to compared to the one I ride, but after riding this motorcycle across the country in the broad daylight, blasted sun, dead of night, I never had issues seeing the screen. This bike also comes equipped with Apple CarPlay, and this model specifically does have navigation built in. Navigation is not automatically offered on these motorcycles. I do believe it is an additional $300 for 3 years worth of the navigation software. I used to hate navigation. I never wanted anything to do with it because I use my handy dandy cell phone for all of my transponder needs, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. But after some of the issues I dealt with on my cross-country road trip, I think I would pay to add nav to this bike. So some of the things you are going to notice right off the bat about this motorcycle compared to the previous generation is the pockets up front, the handlebars, and obviously the hand controls. At first glance, it does seem a bit overwhelming and a bit tedious to have to deal with all of those buttons and navigate your way through the digital screen. But honestly, I picked it up super fast, and I only have one issue to comment on this bike specifically. I'm gonna show you right now. This little kill switch right here, this little guy, on and off. That is so easy to turn off. I don't even want to tell you guys how many times I accidentally kill switched myself on the road. So yeah, Harley, if there was any way to add just the tiniest bit of tension to that guy, I think that would be a-okay.
All right, that is officially enough talking. It is time to finally go ride this motorcycle. One thing I didn't mention, this bike is slightly different than the previous iterations because it finally has liquid cooled heads. So on top of this big open air intake and the liquid cooled heads, I haven't had any issues with heat on this bike. I will say it's February. I have ridden it through the cold desert. I haven't ridden it in the summertime, so take this review with a grain of salt, but let's go take it for a spin. So as I said, these are your indicators. You got your on-off switch over here that's going to turn on your center console, your dash, whatever you want to call it. And I purposefully left this motorcycle filthy. I didn't clean it at all. I didn't remove the dead bugs. I didn't wash off the water spots because I want you to see how visible the screen is. So right there, it is I think it's a little after noon right now, or just before noon. Bright sunshine. I can see that screen perfectly clear. So that is it, fully loaded. Obviously you need you need a headset to use Apple CarPlay. I can show, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and set up Apple CarPlay so I can show you what that looks like too. So 1 second. I am using a Cardo Pack Talk Edge. I don't remember which iteration. It's not the Harley branded one, and it works just fine. So let's go ahead and find us a place to go ride. All right, so as you can see, I have my directions on my phone. I'm gonna put that to sleep and pop it away in my little pocket here, and then over on Apple CarPlay I can see it just fine. I know you're on a GoPro, so let me know if you need any photos or something like that. I can upload stuff to my Instagram profile or Facebook if you're really interested, but I'm gonna go ahead and follow my GPS and talk about this bike with you. Stock motorcycle. It's exactly what it's gonna sound like. All right, let's ride. So obviously the first thing that any Harley-Davidson touring motorcycle enthusiast is going to notice, once again, these handlebars. I am such a preacher of ergonomics on a motorcycle. I feel like you can ride any bike you want to as long as you feel confident and comfortable sitting and maneuvering the bike. I feel 100% in control of this motorcycle every single time I take it out on a ride. So the bike does have a slightly higher rear suspension, which makes leaning this motorcycle 10 times more confidence inspiring because you're ever so slightly lifted off the ground. I still think you have a little bit over, close on my vents so you can hear me. I still think you have a little over 5, maybe 5.5 inches of ground clearance. So I wouldn't be ramping it off of any curbs or something, but leaning it into the twisties, I think you can push it a little harder than what you're typically used to pushing your bike. And it's the exact same floorboards. If you like to scrape floorboard, that's totally fine. They fold up and you'll have a nice little sharp blade on the side of your floorboards. But once again, as you can see, the display screen is absolutely crystal clear. I can see everything on it. We did discuss, I think briefly in one of my previous videos, the wind deflection. So this is the stock windshield. This is one thing I would absolutely 100% upgrade in the future. It's just a little too small, doesn't offer a whole lot of wind protection, but I do like that we now have the adjustable, what's it called? Wind deflector, I guess? It's like a vent basically. So I just shut that, and on these slower back roads, it's wonderful. I don't feel any air. I don't get the buffeting really bad, but when you're doing 70, 80 miles an hour on the highway with that little vent closed, with the stock windshield, your head will be knocking all over the place. At least I will be. I'm 5'7" tall. I have an inseam of 31 inches, so I do have long legs. I can flat foot this bike 100% comfortably. I have a nice bend in my knee. It's a very, very comfortable motorcycle. Like I said, they did upgrade and modify the seat on this bike. It's super lightweight. It is just a standard foam seat, but I literally rode 1,000 miles in one day on top of an additional 1,600 miles halfway across the country, and I was fine. I hopped on the bike the next day ready to go ride some more because I didn't hurt at all. So this bike does come standard. The standard model version comes with the 117 cubic inch engine. I am used to riding a 107 modified engine on my previous generation Road Glide, and I didn't really think there was going to be that big of a difference, but when you put this bike in sport mode, the instant power to the rear wheel and the torque is mind-boggling. Like, this bike feels like it is so much faster than any other bagger that I've ridden. Even when like you're on the 131s and stuff, like having those ride modes now give you so much more control and specificity on this bike. I don't know if that was a real word. To make it your own and make it ride how you want to ride. So on the entire cross-country road trip, I was riding in road mode. I will pop it in sport mode here for you guys in this video. You're not going to be able to feel what I feel, or you're just going to be able to listen to my reaction. Braking on this motorcycle, amazing. I actually don't even think I've used ABS brakes, and I'm usually always using ABS because I'm a hard braker. Front and rear wheel, I got the dual Brembo front disc brakes, and it stops on a dime, man. It's a very, very nice ride. The one thing I will say, I don't know if this is a software issue, a cell phone issue, or just a me thing, I cannot hear the speakers on, like I can't hear the music coming out of the speakers on this bike if I'm going anywhere over 60 miles an hour, which kind of sucks. You know, if you're buying a bike with a full fairing and a stereo system, you want to hear your stereo. So I'm not sure if I just got a lemon with the speakers. I don't know if I need to upgrade the speakers on this thing, but I'm just being honest with you. That's something that I can't hear, and it does. It sucks. It kind of sucks. And the fact that when I use Apple CarPlay, I have to have my Cardo running the whole time. I would like to listen to it through my speakers, but I'll switch over to my Cardo so I can listen to the music, and it drains the battery so much faster. So there really isn't like a happy accident to just kind of listen to music. It's kind of stinks. I do believe the bike is 30 pounds lighter. I can't remember. It's a little bit lighter than the previous iterations, and I really feel it, especially with these upgraded handlebars and the ergos being different. I can really feel where the bike shifts its weight and how it carries its weight. So love that. I really don't know if I would ever upgrade these handlebars because I love them so much. I feel like the bike rides wonderfully with them. I would put heated grips on. This bike does not come standard with heated grips. It also does not come standard with navigation. So those are two things that I would immediately add to the bike. All right, let's go ahead and pop it in sport mode. All right. Yeah, man, this thing, it'll get up and go. I don't want to be in sport mode for the rest of this ride because it is twitchy and it is responsive. So I'm going to put it back in road mode and just enjoy Florida traffic. All right, so we're on our main screen here, so I can cycle through, and I actually have TPMS sensors on these tires, so I can see that my front wheel 35 pounds of PSI, rear wheel 41. Those are holding pretty good. We've been having a lot of very unpredictable cold weather down here in Florida, so with the temperature swings, I feel like the tire pressure has stayed wonderfully. And my favorite thing about these tires is they come standard with 90-degree valve stems. Y'all, it's the little things, okay? I'm not a performance rider. I like to do long miles. I like to travel. I like to tour. So when I can just, at the blink of an eye, check my my tire pressure on the screen and not have to worry about getting off the bike and finding the valve stem, doing it that way, it's lovely. It's just, I mean, it's probably making me a lazier person, but I just don't care. It's so nice to have. Hop on the tollway, take it on the highway, and talk about it there. So in this little review, you know, I hit a couple twisty roads, gonna take it on the highway now, and the highway is where this bike really shines. Like, I had a very enjoyable time hitting some twisty roads, but I know y'all don't like to see people just crushing miles on the highway, but listen, sometimes you just don't have another opportunity. You don't have time to take the slow, beautiful, scenic route. So when I'm crushing miles on this bike, I'm loving it. All right, so now we're on the highway and I have that vent closed up in the front. I'm feeling a lot of buffeting, and the front bearing does block a ton of wind, but like I said, I'm kind of tall. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. And it's a lot more streamlined, direct flow of wind. This bike also comes standard with cruise control. Cruise control has changed my life. I hate riding motorcycles without it, but standard with cruise control, but it's in a different location. It does have the updated LED indicators and the LED headlights. Game changer. I am all about visibility. I want to be seen, and I can tell you 100% following Blockhead on our cross-country motorcycle trip, I could see his lights perfectly. Every time he put his indicator on, I could see them. That's a big pet peeve for me personally when I'm following somebody who doesn't have very bright indicators and they're leading. I'm all over the place because they're like all of a sudden braking and turning, and I'm like, you have a turn signal the size of a pig. I can't see it. All the upgraded lighting, 100%. I love that. The bike runs beautifully with the liquid cooled heads. Like I said, it starts up wonderfully in the morning. It's not a long crank. Obviously, it's a new bike, so you would think it would run and perform perfectly, but it's still an engine. It's still a machine. Things still go wrong. There is no perfect motorcycle. And all of you guys that are about to comment gold wings, I still had issues with the gold wings. It's all about what you like. These are the types of bikes that I like. I love this motorcycle. I really, really don't want to buy this bike because I'm debt free. My Road Glide is paid off. So I have a lot of hard thinking I need to do. I really wanted to take my Road Glide up to 100,000 miles just to say I did it. You know, I've never put 100,000 miles on one of my bikes before. Have I ridden over 100,000 miles? Yes, I have. On one motorcycle? No. So that was just kind of a goal for me this year. And then this little beauty came out and it has me rethinking everything, which is good. Good Harley-Davidson, good job. Bad for me, bad for my wallet. I don't want to spend more money this year. Obviously, depending on how you ride, gas mileage on my cross-country trip, I think I was averaging 40 to 43 miles per gallon. I would stop right around every 200 miles, which is pretty standard to how I currently travel. So comparable gas tank, comparable mileage. I'm good with it.
Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of figuring out to do because I'm absolutely in love with this motorcycle. If you guys have any questions, you know, when I'm riding, there's a lot of things I can't think of in the moment that you think of later in the comments. Please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer your questions in this official review video. I'll have the link to this bike down below as well. You can check out all the statistics, price, everything you want to, but just know that it's an amazing machine. Everyone has their opinions. And I support everyone who rides whatever they want to ride. So if you're going to be mean and dogging on a bike just because you don't like it, please just go away. We don't want you here, man. Ride your own ride. Love what you love. And I love big baggers like this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to check out my full cross-country motorcycle trip, I'll have the link to that down below as well, or just check out the playlist, also linked down below. Okay, well, until my next one, I'm gonna hop back on this beautiful beauty and go enjoy the gorgeous Florida sunshine. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until my next one, you be good, and I'll see you later.